Welcome everybody to BBN at 8, and as always, it's your sports guy Clif here to give you the hottest news in sports out there right now, coming to you live from the Skybox. And man, I'm actually kind of excited about my topics today because there's a lot of good sporting stuff going on out there in the world right now. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. And we're going to start with my favorite sport, professional football, the NFL. Hey, the official offseason started, and you know what that means? Free agency. Now, yes, there's a lot of big names. I can't cover all of them today, but we're going to focus on quarterbacks, particularly starting quarterbacks who have made a move to a new team. And the one name that was out there that everybody wanted to talk about is Kirk Cousins. Where was he going to end up? Formerly of the Washington Redskins, he decided to go to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, you know, I think he's a good quarterback, very productive during this time, and he's going to be a great addition to the Minnesota team because they already have a great defense. Now, speaking of free agent quarterbacks, Minnesota, again, is a very funny team. They had 3 quarterbacks that were on the roster last year that weren't under contract for this upcoming year, and they had no quarterbacks. So signing Kirk Cousins was big. But what happened to their free agent quarterbacks? Well, the next big quarterback signing was Case Keenum. You know, Case Keenum almost led them to a good Super Bowl run. He had a miracle in Minnesota, or should I say in New Orleans, for the team when they got a last-second touchdown against the Saints. Well, Case Keenum landed in Denver. He's looking to go to the Broncos to go ahead and shore up that team again. Another team with a great defense that needed an answer at quarterback. Next, we have Teddy Bridgewater. That was the guy that was drafted by the Vikings to be their next franchise quarterback. Well, he's going to end up with the Jets. And, you know, it's kind of awkward because they've already said that Josh McCarron is going to be the actual starter. So we're going to see what that competition yields. And hopefully Teddy Bridgewater can resurrect his career after a horrible knee injury. And the last quarterback that was on the Vikings roster last year, Sam Bradford. And when we talk about injuries, I mean, this dude might live in the hospital. But for some reason, teams want to sign him and continue to want to give him money. And that next team is the Arizona Cardinals. Look for him to go ahead and compete for that starting job. And if he can stay healthy, he can be right above average in terms of production, and he could help that team in Arizona. The last quarterback that got signed that I want to talk about in free agency is with the Buffalo Bills is A.J. McCarron. A.J. McCarron had to fight to get back on the field when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals, but look for this guy who's always been a backup quarterback to possibly move into that starting position. Now, the last guy I really want to talk about actually moved in a trade is Tyrod Taylor. He played for the Bills. The Bills benched him for Nathan Peterman. So is A.J. McCarron going to be behind the 8 ball going up to Buffalo? He shouldn't be. He should automatically be the starter because Nathan Peterman, yeah, he's pretty much trash. Now, talking about Tyrod Taylor, if he's no longer with the Bills, where did he go? He ended up in Cleveland, and Cleveland did some things over there that actually got him a running mate on offense with Jarvis Landry, wide receiver coming from the Miami Dolphins. So those are the quarterbacks that moved around that all have potential to start next season. It looks to be a great offseason for NFL free agency. I'm going to come back. I'll do another bit later on that'll talk about all the big names that move, because we've had some great movement that should prepare us for another great season in the NFL. Now, moving on to the NCAA March Madness college break. Some of y'all brackets are already busted. I ain't even gonna lie. You know, Arizona already lost in the first round. They were a 4 seed, and they lost to a 13 seed. And a lot of people, I'm pretty sure at least 1 million people in the nation that picked them to win it all. Well, you're not winning your bracket challenge if you pick them to win it all. But guess what? Because it's already started, I said, let me get into the spirit of March Madness and tell you who my Final Four prediction is going to be. And I'll hit these real quick. First, kind of a surprise, the Cincinnati Bearcats. They're led by Gary Clark. I think that team is gritty and they have great coaching. My next team is Gonzaga. This name is starting to become a household favorite that everybody knows about, even though it's a small mid-major school. But check it out. Gonzaga has 5 players averaging more than double digits in scoring. They have a balanced attack. These guys have a good pedigree, and they're establishing themselves as a powerhouse for years to come. The next team I want to talk about is Villanova. Now, Villanova has a championship in the last few years. A Final Four championship, won at the buzzer. It was beautiful. But they're led by Jalen Brunson. This guy, gritty, leader, not the best athlete, but he's a guy that's great for a college basketball team. And my last team to round out the Final Four is Kansas. They're led by Devontae Graham. This guy is proven to be possibly the best college basketball player this year. Those guys are going to be good, and they should make a deep run, and they should make it to the Final Four. I won't tell you who I'm leaning toward just yet. I'll wait till the next show to let you know who I think is going to actually win the title. But those are my 4 teams right here coming to San Antonio, Texas. That's who I'm predicting to come down here and round out March Madness. Make sure your brackets don't get too tore up. Keep an eye on them, and definitely keep an eye on those games. And to conclude, I want to talk about somebody's athlete favorite in their sport. And I'm probably talking about Tiger Woods when it comes to golf. Most people will say that's their favorite golfer, especially if you're from this contemporary era. Now, you know, the story of Tiger Woods is quite interesting. He's a young guy, young guy, being put into golf. He's excellent. He's blowing people out of the water at a very young age. He comes up, he's earning a lot of marketing dollars as one of the highest earning athletes ever to be in the sports world. He's winning championships after championships after championships. And then all of a sudden there's a drop off. He starts to get into trouble. He has problems in his marriage. He's found on the side of the road half unconscious. He's arrested for DUI. He has injuries like every other athlete, and we see this downward spiral of one Tiger Woods. Now, some people criticize him, even myself, for not embracing his blackness. But one thing that you can't take away from Tiger Woods, he is indeed one of the best golfers we've ever seen. And I must admit to you, I'm a little excited of his recent success. He's finished second in one of his recent matches. He's at the top of one of the current ones that's going on right now. And what I'll attribute it to is he's had multiple back surgeries. And I believe finally now he's let his body heal. He's gotten mature in age. He understands, and I don't think he ever lost his skill set, but he's making a transition into becoming kind of like an elder senior player. And I think that we're going to see a second wave of Tiger Woods and his success. Because remember, golfers can play until they're real old. I think this is the first steps that we're seeing that he hasn't lost a lot, but he still has a great skill set, and he has a lot of wins in his future. So I want to tip my hat to Tiger Woods. I hope you continue to do well. Just get and stay away from the foolishness. But hey, maybe you think Tiger Woods is already all washed up. Maybe you feel that some of those quarterbacks didn't go to the right teams, and maybe you think my Final Four picks are just terrible. Either way, let me know how you feeling and what you thinking. Leave a comment under this video so I can always know. Because I'm always going to give it to you, and I'm going to give it to you straight. That's right. Sports Got Cliff right here, coming to you live from the Skybox. Until the next time.